I learned over the years that a lot of the things like that I was seeking or that other people are seeking are not necessarily out there in the system, and a lot of that's about creativity. You know, programs is things like dealing with anger, loss and grief, all the important things, but they often don't give tools for creating change, whereas if you've got somewhere to, say, put your story through doing poetry, or where you want to slow your mind down through doing mandalas or create something, then it's not hard to do, but a lot of people don't have that information, and there are lots of other people who are looking for answers out there. Change is a process.
Yeah,
and
each little step.
Yeah, no two people are going to have the same journey, and you know the journey that you're both on, and that and the changes that I've seen, the stories that we've shared, you know, the fun, and it just affirms to me that regardless of our background, regardless of our culture, regardless of whether we're male or female, that there are some things that will work for all of us, and it's really about family, connection, you know, and creativity, and we see the differences in our lives.
I would say that, like when you do counselling, you're talking, like the words coming out, but when you're doing art, you're actually doing stuff, so you're actually seeing certain changes, like how you feel, and a lot of your artwork changes, so that way you feel like you're developing, you're growing, you know, your confidence is building.
I remember, Vicky, when we first started looking at mandalas quite a few years ago, and affirmations and those things that were, as you say, new programs, new ways of looking at things. Can you remember any in particular that sort of stick in your mind, of, you know, that really sort of like made a difference to how you were thinking or how you were feeling?
I think the only one that sticks in my mind to where I was at was I deserve to be loved, you know, because you walk around and you're not happy, and deep down, because you've been rejected and, you know, feel like nobody really loves you or holds you and stuff like that. So even then it was hard to say affirmations like that, you know, because deep down, you know, I didn't believe it. So
it takes a while?
So it takes a while to even look yourself in the mirror and say it.
Yeah.
Like, just saying it was a bit of a, like, I'll doubt it. I'll say, do I really deserve it?
Yeah, so it's like the new program, the new belief, let's
Yeah.
say. The old one, I guess there's sometimes a bit of sort of cross currents.
Yeah.
So where are you now with I deserve to be loved?
Oh.
How does your life look now as opposed to back then?
Yeah, well, I know now that, you know, I'm deserving of love. I'm rich in love, I think. Yeah, I'm overflowing now.
As well, Charmaine, that the more that inner sense of self grows, and the inner, you know, just the inner spirit and the inner belief, that your relationships change, and that the thoughts that we think change.
I used to be a very negative person. Loved to gossip. You know, really, you know, just really bad. You know, gossip and think really negative things all the time. My mind was just consumed with negative thoughts, and since I've started on this journey, this spiritual journey that I'm on, things are getting better. And because I've changed the way I think, and to keep, you know, my thoughts, you know, keep them positive all the time, I read a lot of books, and I think you got to reaffirm all these new ideas that you get, and so reading and meditating, because I love to meditate every morning. I feel like I can't start the day unless I meditate, because
What does that do for you to meditate?
it keeps me focused, it keeps me calm. I can deal with my children because, you know, before I started meditating, I'd feel like I was being crushed, you know, the children, just life in general was, I feel like the world was caving in on me. And I felt like I was losing it, actually. Yeah. And that I was very depressed, but I was able to pull myself out. You know, I bought books. I chose to change, and I didn't want to. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I didn't want to rely on drugs or, you know, drinking, and just to kill the pain. So meditating, reading positive books helped me to change the way I think.
One of the most important things on the Begin Within journey is for people to really embrace the truth that we have the power to create change. But when we're focusing on someone else changing, him changing, her changing, or all these other people doing things differently, our creative energy goes out. But when we bring it back in, we can train ourselves to use our mind to its best capacity, to allow our creative spirit to, you know, to flow again. And again, as mothers, that's going to create a very different experience of childhood for your children than if you were still in that place of, you know, stress or anxiety and tension and that kind of thing.
For a while when my husband was working full time, like, all I did was watch the kids and transport him back and forth to work. So I didn't get a lot of time to read books or do this or talk, you know, about self-development and stuff. So I really felt it. I really felt like I was getting a bit down and depressed. So, you know, like my moods would change and I'd get really snappy and I'd cry a lot. So it's very, to me, it's very important because I've been where I haven't had creativity in my life and it's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make sure that, I starve for it. You know, I just want to just be myself and be a kid, you know.
Well, and I think that really, to me, that confirms that we are creative beings. You know, we as children, we see it with your children. We're all children. We were creating all the time. We were thinking. We lived in a world of magic and potential, and for many different reasons, that loses out of it. You know, a lot of people just lose that.
You get on their level, and they just love sharing that time with you, and they love the feedback that you give them about their artwork. And you know, it just makes them so proud to, you know, to produce something really nice. And it encourages them to you know, to be more creative, and hopefully, you know, they'll continue to, you know, grow and do bigger and better things.
And not lose that creativity, which is, we know that a lot of people do. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, how creativity can get lost in life, and how in part of some of the things that we've done has been reclaiming that creativity? Have you experienced that?
Like when the kids are, you know, if they're stuck on the TV or, you know, they're fighting, I just, what do I do? So I, you know, pull out some papers and some pens and that, and straight away, you know, they just get on the table with me. So it sort of breaks them up from, you know, the distraction of what they're doing. And like my 4-year-old, she'll sit there with me and she'll try to copy me, but I try to encourage her that what I do comes from me. So she needs to do stuff that comes from her, and then she starts doing it, so I try to copy her to make her feel like she's leading.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because she tries to follow me a lot and she can't do it. So I say, well, you do what you can and I'll copy you, and I make out I can't copy it. So she's like, no, you can do it, Mum.
She feels strong, she feels proud. And
because she looks up to me, so I try to show that she's the leader and she's got really good talent.
That's actually a very good leadership strategy, isn't it? Teaching leadership by acknowledging what she does. And I think those sort of things, when I was saying before about how we can lose creativity, when we're consciously aware of keeping creativity in the family, it's not like we have to find something new, it's already there. We know that children are very creative. And to build that and nourish it and nurture it, I think children are going to be more fulfilled because they're not, like when they're fighting, they can channel that energy somewhere else. So I think it's a very strong way of keeping that creative spirit moving.
Beyond, I think the way I've learned is beyond my imagination, because 5 years ago, if you asked me that question, I would have said, oh, I don't know, like I would have been and ahhing. But now, from learning the 5 years where I've come and I've got so much, I know that I've got new tools, I've got new, creativity, I've got new way of thinking, new way of talking, new expression. I feel differently, so I know that I'm going to be, there's greater things out there, and I know from the way I'm saying it now is what I'm going to make it to be.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't doubt anything. Anything's possible because I know how to create.
Yeah. Your life is a demonstration of that, isn't it?
And I've got my network of people and friends and like-minded people, so I know that I'm always guided to the right person if I need help.
I want to help other people have what I have, to get where I am, and to be content with yourself and be happy with what you've got, and not stress about problems. Don't stress about anything, because it doesn't get you anywhere. To pass on what I know, and in 5 years' time, yes, hopefully I'll be more aware, more spiritual, and hopefully have an effect on other people. I want to be able to pass out my positive energy to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the strength of that vision that you have means that will happen.
Yes,
it
will happen.
Really, because we know that when we are creating and when we are achieving in the way that, the things that we've talked about, that people do get drawn to us. There are lots of other people who are looking for answers out there.
That's true. If you want to take a trip, do you?
Stay at home.
I'd escape addiction.
Traffic lights and
flashing at me.
Oh wow!
And it really can stimulate creativity. It's kind of activates the right side of your brain.
Like,
Look in the other eye.
Oh yeah.